Old school RuneScape for many is considered to be one of the greatest MMOs of all time, and I've started a quest to see just why that is. Having primarily played World of Warcraft for the past 2 decades, I have the privilege to be able to play RuneScape from a completely blind perspective, and I'm challenging myself by attempting to complete every quest in the game in Iron Man mode without the use of guides. Today, I offer you a glimpse in the experience of a World of Warcraft transplant's first adventure in the world of RuneScape. Attack level 30. I'll show you attack level 30. Alright, so apparently to equip high level items in this game you need to level your stats. I guess it makes sense since earlier we learned that leveling attack seemed completely effing useless, at least from what I could tell, but now it makes more sense. Attack level to equip higher level weapons, and strength to deal more damage with those weapons, and defense for defense, I'm assuming. So, obviously, unless I want to waste 3,200 gold, that is the next goal. I guess we're gonna head to the Barbarian Village to... What the F is that noise? There's some weird stuff going on in this game. I don't even want to know. So I grind and grind and grind. This is a pretty good spot actually. There's a fishing pool right nearby, so even though I failed in my quest of being able to mostly AFK grind without having to heal, it's really not that big of a deal since I have this convenient little spot to keep myself fully stocked on food. And I figured that I need to level my fishing and woodcutting and fire making anyway, so I commit to some barbarian genocide until, boom, comma, baby, the green popsicle stick. Status, God mode. Gahalas, incalculable. Actually, by this point, embarrassingly enough, I've finally remembered in the tutorial the stat screen. Yeah, you know the screen that shows my actual offensive and defensive stats? I swear I've played the genre before. So I'm actually clueless on what Gahala is. Oh, wait, I'm extra stupid. It literally says right here it has to do with the price. I don't have any idea what they stand for, but it seems to be generally indicative of a weapon's quality, so the higher the better, but from now on I'm obviously going to use the character sheet. Okay, seriously, what the F are these noises? Oh my god. Another thing I'd like to correct was that I made a comment that this game doesn't feel very social, and I think there's an element to that just because it's been out for so long with people knowing so much about it, and with wikis and third-party convenient sources for interaction. There's really not a huge reason to interact in-game, but I did happen upon some. This was by complete accident, but I happened to be lagging at the time, and I got a message saying that I should consider switching servers, so I did, and I randomly picked one called Woodcutting, and when I passed Draenor Village, there's like this orgy of wood chopping going on, and it had all of these events pop up where you get this special currency to spend on this nearby vendor to get gear and other things that improve your woodcutting. So I'm definitely going to remember this for the future with other stuff in case there's more group activities like this to level skills. But this was a pretty awesome way to make a dull grind more entertaining, and I actually striked up conversations with people. But anyways, I said earlier in a video that this game isn't very sociable, but I did have this nice session which was pretty refreshing. So I feel at this point I'm pretty capable offensively, so I decide to head back to the Barbarians to work on my defense. I bought an adamantite helmet from there, but as you might guess it requires 30 defense to equip, and I have even more gold saved up mainly from questing, and also grinding barbarians and selling fish, the latter being my most stable source of income. And while I'm here, I find this cave system that's filled with goblins and wolves, and it seems pretty huge, so I just decide to leave it for now, as I assume that I'll get a quest for it later. I eventually get the 30 defense and equip the adamantite helmet, and decide to take a break from grinding at this point to grind something else, my magic. I picked up a magic staff from Varric, which is nice, but the problem is that to cast spells in this game, you need reagents called runes. There are fire runes, mind runes, water runes, law, all sorts of different kinds. It kind of reminds me in World of Warcraft vanilla with hunters who needed actual ammo for every shot that they fired, which could definitely be inconvenient, but also cool since it started this whole dynamic of needing to be stocked up on ammo, and you could craft your own, and you had a special quiver or pouch container that gave you more slots and attack speed. It's old school RPG gaming at its finest, but the only problem with RuneScape is that it's not so simple. There's a rune shop in town that you can use, but it's pretty expensive, so I decided to craft my own. But how do you do that? Remember that quest we did a while back where we unlocked the essence mine? Well, you have to bring a mining pick with you and then go to that NPC in the wizard's tower. He'll teleport you there, where you then mine the essence, and you then take that along with the talisman. I only have an arrow at the moment, and you take this to an altar, which is fine because it tells you where the altar is, and then you use it to convert the essence into runes. That's all well and great. The only problem, it's incredibly fucking slow. Like seriously, each essence takes up an inventory slot, so you can only make like 20 of one per trip. And in case I haven't mentioned it yet, you move as slowly as my grandparents have sex in this game. And I still don't know how to increase my inventory. The only thing I saw was that from the Slayer's rewards, you could get something called a rune pouch, but let me tell you about this. So this system is pretty simple. You're tasked with killing a certain type of enemy. As a reward, you get points. You spend these points on gear. That's easy, but the only problem for me is that I don't know where all the enemies are. Goblins, fine. Spiders, that's good. Monkeys were a little harder, but I found them on Karamja. But, uh-oh, now I need cave crawlers, and I have no idea where they are. There are cave systems in the game. They're marked on the map with pins called dungeons, but out of the ones I've checked, I haven't found any cave crawlers. But even if I did, it doesn't really matter because for the only spell I can cast, I need Air and Mind, and I don't know where the Mind Talisman is. But there is a saving grace. There are tutors in this game, and aside from their handy information, some of them actually give you stuff. The magic tutor says that she'll straight up give me runes if I claim them from her. She gives 30 each of Air and Mind every 30 minutes, which is perfect. It's not enough to farm, but it's still pretty useful, and you can dupe the fuck out of her. She won't give you any if you already have some in your inventory or bank, since she doesn't want you to hoard them. But if you just drop them on the ground, she'll give them to you and you can just pick them up. And in fact, every time I'm in town and I'm not on cooldown, I'll just drop my runes, snag an easy 60, and at this point I have quite a few stocked up. I love it when you can outsmart non-sentient NPCs in a video game. So after like a 5-hour struggle, I got my staff, I got my runes, and I have an unquenchable rage of 5,000 virgins. What the fuck? Ah! Okay, bruh, why am I doing 0 damage? Why is this game so hard? Oh my god. Oh, fuck this. Yeah, forget it. Let's just quest. Let's see what the activity advisor says. Now this tool I'm really grateful for. I definitely feel lost a lot in this game, which I like, by the way, or else I would just look it up. But this tool is nice to kind of reorient me. You know, give me some direction and start me on a quest where I can learn along the way while still feeling like I'm making progress. So let's see what it tells me. Oh. Beautiful gameplay. Okay, what's this about? What have I done now to piss off the gods of this game? Let's try relogging. Nope. Still nothing. Okay, you're not gonna believe this, but the activity advisor is bugged. At least that's what I assume. I've been away for a bit at this point. Path of Exile 2 came out and that's kind of been consuming my soul as of late, so it has been a little while since I logged in, and it was working fine previously, and I've changed nothing, so I'm going to assume that this is a glitch. Okay, so now I'm really effed. I was blind already, so now I have like negative vision. My only choice is to do it how I started and just manually look at quests on the map to try to figure out what to do next, I guess. Well, here's one on the map called The Lost Tribe. I tried to get it at the very beginning of the game, but it said I lacked the requirement, so let's see if I'm able to do it now. Apparently there's this strange noise in the cellar, and the wall collapsed. The Duke of Lumbridge thinks it was an earthquake, but others aren't so convinced. I'm told to go ask around town to see what people think. It says I'm still missing requirements, but let's just try it anyways, and we'll just deal with that when we get to it. Hey, do you know where... Oh my god! You know what happened in the cellar? Wall collapse. Okay, you're useless. Well, the cook was right near it, I guess, so let's see what he says. Alright, so he says he saw a goblin-like creature dart through a hole in the wall, and he went to go get help, but when he returned, it was gone, and the hole was covered up. I give this information to the Duke, and he tells me to go investigate. Entering the cellar, I find the covered-up hole, with no immediately obvious way of opening it up. Examining it doesn't really yield any information. I see this person just kind of standing next to the bar, but there doesn't seem to be anything there. So I head to the bank and I pick up some tools. A hammer, a shovel, and a mining pick to see if we can just punch through it. The hammer does nothing, the shovel just digs in place, but the mining pick works like a charm. Oh yeah! Please clap! Wait, why are there so many people going to this one spot here? Is this like the line for the glory hole or something? Alright, whatever. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay, it's okay. It's only level 13. And I already did a little bit of it to unlock the Falador shortcut. By the way, during these agility runs, I start finding these items called Marks of Grace. They just randomly pop up sometimes on the ground. And examining them, it says that I can exchange them for rewards at the Rogue's Den, wherever that is. Alright, back to the Hole of Mystery. Oh, shit. Okay, so we have another mechanic here. I'm warned that you're supposed to have some sort of light source. I can enter anyways, but I'm told to do so at my own peril. I decide to peek my head in to check it out, and it's super dark, and there are these bugs that swarm you. I realize that I have no food to speak of, so I head back out to do some fishing, and during my time grinding in the swamp, I remember that there's a candle cellar, so I walk all the way over, and 1,000 gold for an effing candle? Are you mad? Well, I guess I have no choice. I have no idea where else I'd get one. Oh god, I forgot my gold in the bank. Walk all the way back. Take your damn gold. He ominously tells me that candles are dangerous in caves and that I'll find out why. Oh, good. Tell me that after you sell it to me for 1,000 gold. You fucker. Okay, so food, candle, agility. Let's do this. I immediately find this brooch on the ground. Wait, is this the quest? It was 5 steps in. Oh my god, I just wasted 1,000 gold on a candle that I didn't even need. I bring it to the Duke. He says to find more information on them in the Varick Library, and awkwardly, right next door, someone's getting their asses arrested. I'm not sure what he did, but he shouldn't worry about it because the guard doesn't really seem to do anything other than telling him he's under arrest. These guys got nothing on the Oblivion guards. Those mother effers were straight out of Cyrodiil.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Remember the Emperor!
But anyways, I'm off once more to Varick to find the mystery of the brooch. Have I mentioned that you move as slowly as my grandparents have sex in this game yet? I show the amulet to Reldo, who says he just recently filed a book about goblins on the west end of the library. And sure enough, there it is. Goblin tradition holds that their race was created by a war god in order to fight a war against other gods. They never named their god, so whether it was the same as any other of the gods worshipped by the other races is unknown. The legends also speak of goblins fighting against other goblins during wars, so it is likely that the gods other than their creators used them as foot soldiers. Although goblins are still warlike, it's probably that in their earlier ages they were more organized than they are now, especially if they were under the direct command of one or more gods. This is corroborated by finds unearthed by the various archaeological sites, including the large excavation site east of Varick. Armor and weapons have been found, obviously made to fit goblins, but far more well-made than their current equipment. Almost every piece of... What are these noises? Okay, it's kind of hard to concentrate with Kirby jacking off in the background. Okay, are you done? Almost every piece of... Oh my god! Almost every piece of ancient goblin equipment has one of a number of symbols on it, and by correlating these symbols with the sketchy records that survive from the Third Age, it has been possible to identify 12 distinct goblin tribes or regiments. The separate identities of the tribes have long since dissolved, and no goblins remember the symbols, although their generals may still recognize their ancient tribal names. So you're given a list of symbols correlating to different tribes, and the brooch we found matches this one, the Dorgashans. I bring this information back to the Duke, and he says to go find more information, which is pretty vague. I'm assuming since I found the brooch in the caves, I'll also find the goblins there, so that's where I start. And I immediately get hit by a boulder. So this area is trapped, but I decide to perform what is known as a professional gamer move. You see, when a boulder falls, the path becomes impassable, but the way that the pathing works in this game, you can use it to determine where the traps are because it knows that the shorter paths are impassable. So as long as you click pretty far away, chances are your character will just take the safe path every time. Along the way, I noticed these little rocks with symbols carved in them, and also this locked door. So I assume that you have to put the brooch in with the matching symbol. So I start keeping an eye out for a dot and a half square. But eventually I find some goblins, and they aren't aggressive, but they're scared of me, so they refuse to interact. Is this your brooch? Is this your homework, Larry? No? Well, remember the Emperor, bitch. You know, I'm not really sure why they're so scared of humans. One dropped a mining helmet, which is probably useful. I'm assuming this is another source of light, so I'll definitely hang on to it. And they're actually pretty good for grinding. They have a big life pool, and they don't really deal a lot of damage, so I think after I'm done helping them, I'll probably murder a few hundred to hone my combat stats. Alright, well I'm stumped. Oh shit! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ah! My candle's unlit because I fell in the water. Whew, oh, there we go. Well, thank God I happen to have tinder on me. That's useful. The only thing it's ever given me is disappointment and a burning sensation when I pee. Okay, where the F am I? I don't have my teleport up. Oh god, I'm so screwed. Oh, okay. Well, there's the kitchen cellar. Just gotta dig through the rubble again. Wait, what? Oh my god. Well, I guess I'll just have to wait for my teleport. Ah! Sunlight! It burns my vampire skin. Well, it's a dead end, and I can't seem to figure out how to converse with them. The only thing I can think of is to try my goblin friends to the northwest that I helped. The book said that some generals might know more information about it, and they're generals. That's logical, right? So I head on over. On my way, I see some guy fishing out that quest item from the Piranha Fountain in Draenor Manor. Good old days. Back when I had no idea what I was doing, along the way I happened upon another quest, and at this point I gotta say that enabling the highlights in the options menu was a lifesaver. And it's not only for quest NPCs, there's also one for agility shortcuts, and I can guarantee you that I totally would have walked right past this had I not enabled it. It's a dwarf, and I asked to use his anvil, but he wants some ore for me, as well as some clay, and he says that I can find all three in the Dwarven Mine just to the east, which I note for now, but I'm easily overwhelmed, so I'll just put a pin in that for now while I pursue my current quest. So talking to the generals, I actually have a dialogue option for the Dogushan. Oh my god, I'm actually figuring this stuff out. I show them the brooch, and they can't seem to agree on much. But from what I gather, the tribe either lost or ran away from a battle, so the gods banished them to the underground, which is why they dug into the Lumbridge kitchen. They show me a bow and a dance, and tell me to use it to greet them. I first tell the Duke this information, and he says that he'll get an army ready, but still sends me down to learn more about them. I make my way back and I use the bow, which lowers their guard, and they confirm that they fled the war ages ago and eventually took a liking to the basement dweller life, which I totally identify with. And they say that they mistakenly broke into the kitchen following an iron vein, and they didn't mean to, so they filled the hole back up and fled and hoped that if they were to ignore the problem, maybe it would just go away, which I also identify with. I think I might be a goblin, so I tell this information to the Duke, and he says that there's an issue. Some silverware went missing, so apparently this is grounds for war. The advisor, Sigmund, is certain that it was the goblins, and is very gung-ho about murdering all of them. In fact, he has been this entire quest. He was the one who told the Duke that the silverware was missing, and I press him about it and asked why no one noticed earlier, and he very suspiciously says it doesn't matter, the goblins took it, don't bother yourself with the details. Luckily for me, I listened to Alex Jones, and this is all very reminiscent of
globalist mainstream media scumbags turning the frogs gay. I'm a pioneer, I'm an explorer, I'm a human, and I'm coming.
I don't buy this bullshit for 1 second. I try to see if I can pickpocket the silverware off of him. Yeah, I figured out how to pickpocket, by the way. And while I don't get silverware, I do get a key. Using it on a nearby chest reveals a ham outfit, Humans Against Monsters. This is some sort of cult that's racist against monsters, and Sigmund is a part of it, hence his eagerness for genocide. I tell the Duke about this, but being a part of the cult isn't a crime itself, so while he'll keep an eye on him, he can't really do much. So this would be a dead end, but by complete luck, in my search for the cave crawlers from earlier, I managed to find the ham hideout. It's just west of Lumbridge under a trapdoor with a ham symbol on it. So I put on the robes and infiltrate it, and searching all around until I find it in the beginning at the crate near the entrance. I take it back to the Duke, and Sigmund is ousted as the butthole he is. The Duke gives me a peace treaty to deliver to the Goblins, and this is normally where I would complain about walking back and forth, but luckily they put a goblin at the entrance that just straight up teleports you to their camp, which is definitely appreciated. They sign the peace treaty, and unbeknownst to us, Sigmund is listening behind the door in his special stealthy hot pink robes, already plotting retaliation and clearly showing that there's going to be a follow-up. But with that, that's another quest down. I get a ton of mining XP and a life ring, which I don't know what it does. Examining it just gives me the Gahalas, but I equip it anyway since I just have a gold ring equipped for now. This was another cool quest, and again, all solvable through dialogue. I guess maybe aside from the last part where you get the silverware. Unless I missed it, it seemed like you needed to know where the hideout was because none of the NPCs really gave any useful information past that point. But it was pretty cool. It required investigation and exploration, and I'm honestly stunned that I haven't hit a brick wall yet. I guess aside from that encrypted message, which is still sitting in my bank. So, yeah, that's one more quest for you. I'm on a solid pace of one every 2 weeks, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Like the video if you liked it, and all that stuff, and thanks for watching. Peace.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video. See you again soon.